to the Hit Joe Saturday. So I am glad you are here and I am glad to be here. So, um, yep, thanks for being here. And Paula is not joining us today, my wife, and she's been working like, how do you say, just crazy. I mean, doing stuff. I'm like, changing doorknobs. You think is kind of an easy process, right? Wrong. like, um, like the part. Oh, hey, Svenna. So thanks for being here. And you probably know about what do you call it? Changing doorknobs. So the great thing is it first it's easy, right? You can put in the first. I'm not even going to try to explain it because it'll be a mess. But I mean, oh yeah, see, you know what I mean. So it's like really crazy. And, well, I'll just take this moment to say, I am so glad I have Paula. I mean, she's incredible. I mean, this is stuff that I used to do. It's like, well, that sounded bad. But no, I always used to do the stuff from the handyman kind of stuff, like, oh, I get it done. Paula is, how do you say, amazing. Like, I can't even think of the right word, but I am so very thankful that she has been doing so many wonderful things. Oh, by the way, she has been, and I would like to say, hey, I helped. So I got to like paint a stair, but we got the stairs pulled up, or sorry, the carpet pulled up on our stairs in the middle of this. Well, they were having to fix the leak and then busted up the tile and into my floor or my office, which is technically it would be considered the dining room, but the leak went underneath the wall of the kitchen is right there, and then under the wall here and onto the flooring. So not awesome, but we have like wood or laminate, so it was like, oh my goodness, it's gone. So I am thankful that we had our contractor to help him finally fixed it. But anyways, I am so thankful. Paula, I mean, she is fantastic and been working too hard, but no matter what I say, constant. But I am thankful for that, and I'm like, it's incredible. I'm like, there's so many things that I try. I'm like, okay, gotta do this. And, well, a couple things I'll probably forget. So that's, but she just does it. And that's actually, it's funny. Well, I wish I could show you my slacks, but it's like, it says, shh, I'm overthinking. And I actually have a table right here that says it because that is another problem I have is I'm like, I have to make it perfect. But I have to like try to, basically I overthink it instead of just doing it. So that leads me in my next point. Yeah, like I really have points. I could try, but anyway. So this is what I actually did want to talk about today. Not saying I'm good at it, and I'll just be what they call honest. And like, I'm not perfect, and this is something I am still working on because, like, okay, and the point is, I need to write things down because I always forget. And this, I could say, well, and I feel like it's kind of a cop out because I'm like, oh, brain injury, you forget all the time. People forget, and I forget. But I don't believe that's really an excuse. And I always used to joke around, well, I still kind of do with my folks and Paula. I'm like, oh, do you know I have a brain injury? Sorry. Which I kind of can use that excuse, but I'm like, gotta do it. So, anyways, I would like to share with you field notes. So, pretty awesome, but I carry this with me everywhere. And Paula jokes around with me, oh, because I've started to do this, but then I don't check it and let it remind me. So yeah, that's the next step now, is setting a timer, I guess, to say, hey, look at your book. I know it may sound silly, but I'm like, you know what? I've always said, and I will keep on saying, write it down. So whenever I hear something, I have to stop and write it down. And that is something that is very frustrating to me, because I'm like, dude, before my accident, I used to remember all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, got that. Here we go. And it was like, no problem. I mean, even I was a software engineer. I mean, I wrote code and it was awesome. I could just bang it out. No problem. Well, now it's kind of a problem, and it's something that you would think we're coming up on 6 years. So I'm like, dude, after 6 years, you got that right. I mean, you forget everything, so you need to have systems in place, right? I mean, come on. No, I don't have it. Well, and that is something I could go on and cry about and just rant and rave, but guess what? That won't do any good. I mean, maybe it helped me by being a whiny baby and just getting it out of my system. But anyways, so Paula says, oh yeah, write it down, but you don't check it. I'm like, oh. So I'm like, this is good. And something that I supposed to write down, I forgot, of course. But so, you see, I'm trying to think of how to explain it, because I'm like, crap. So one of the problems with the brain injury that I have is, what is it, like instant, like, now it's hard to remember. I'm like, Urgh. But immediacy, or yeah. Gosh, you see, yeah, frustrating thing. Fun thing about live stream, right? It's on the fly. You can go for it. And normally I cut this out. Editing is awesome. But immediacy, what am I thinking of? But there's a word, and so that is the thing, or one of the things I struggle with. I want it now. So, carrying into that, I'll give you a little, what do you call it? Example. Well, I am a bit of a, what do you call it? Apple geek, nerd, all about it. Fangirl, sheep, whatever you want to call it, but I'm all about it. And it's kind of funny because it seems like, I've heard it goes this way. It's like you're a Starbucks fanatic, and so I worked at Starbucks, and guess what? I moved to a place that had an Apple store, and boom, got an Apple job. So I'm like, it was kind of funny. The girl I was interviewing with, she had also worked at Starbucks. So it was kind of funny because we both made those transitions at the same time. Anyway, she ended up working at a different store, like down in Denver, and I was in Boulder, but that's beside the point. But I still think it's quite hilarious. But so, yeah, and now I'm gonna be frustrated until I can think of this word. But anyways, the instant immediacy. But anyways, so I was waiting for the new MacBook Pro to come out. I mean, I worked, and I forgot how many launches of the iPhone was it. Maybe the 5, 6, something like 5S, 6, I don't know. But I worked there for a couple of those. It was awesome. I loved it. I mean, because you also see the other people, well, first I was one of those that was waiting in line. So I was a crazy one, but that's what we do. We wait in line. Well, we used to when you had to be right there waiting in before all pandemic stuff. But man, I was there. I was ready. And this time I was like so ready for the new MacBook Pro. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. Yes, I'm disabled and I can't do what I used to, but I knew the new MacBook Pro was coming out. And I knew like when and all. Anyways, but I have the new, or what is it, the first Mac Mini that came out. And I'm thankful for that and still running like a champ and doing great. But when I want to go and sit on the couch, I can't do that. Well, I can't work on my Mac at the same time or make slides, even if I wanted to do for Ecamm. Or I have just gotten back into like coding a little bit. Not awesome yet, but it gives me something to do, and I can still kind of learn. Well, and I might have already said this before, oopsie, but basically what happened, my injury was, well, and what doctors basically told me is the information is still up there. So I had DAI, which diffuse axonal injuries, so the neurons were sheared, or axons, sorry. So it's basically like the adult version of shaken baby syndrome. So when I had my bicycle accident, I was riding and supposedly it's going down a hill and fast and it was around a corner. But I did have a helmet on, yes. But I must have went over the handlebars. I hit my head and knocked myself unconscious. So the thing about it is your brain, it's not the front part that hurts, or the injury really was in the back part and it shook it. So it's like your brain, it's kind of like Jello. So in the gray and white matter, it's like they are two, what do you call it? See, all this stuff I have in my head makes sense. I just can't say it very good. But they're two different densities, if you will. It's so when it shakes, like Jello, the gray and white matter shears. Well, I mean, the axons connecting shear and they break. So I'm like, the information's still up there. I just have to, create new pathways, work hard, again, and connect the pathways, or recreate different ones in there to access it again. And that is quite something, but I'm like, you know what? It's something that I get to choose. Okay, what am I going to do today? And the good-ish, I guess, part is I really dig this. I love technology. And yes, the doctors say I'm disabled because, well, I cannot work because I get too distracted. So I cannot work a real job, if you will. But I'm like, you know what? I can work and do something as I create this nonprofit and build an app for this nonprofit, Grit and Bear It. I have, so Bear Grit. I am going to work and hopefully gather some people to help me and build this app for those who are in the hospital due to an accident kind of like mine, or some kind of accident where they hit their head or they have some kind of injury, this is something I want to be able to give, because I know, hey, I would have loved this when I was in the hospital. It's just a way to communicate. I want them to do that, a way to write. So, and there's so many, so sorry, all this is based on a iPad, and there are tons of apps to help you with like brain games, if you will, like to help you get quicker, or certain things to just help work it over and over. So, yeah, basically all this to say, I need help as far as I need reminders, so I need to figure out and set alarms on my phone so I can write down and check what I write down. And so, golly. And this is what happens when you don't make a script. No. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm excited about doing. I am learning, obviously, as I go, and I appreciate you being here, Savannah, and anyone who watches this. Like, thank you for being here and taking a look, and just remember that you can do it, and just, how do you say, just go out there and have a great day. Do you, and more than anything, remember, you matter, your story matters, and you belong here. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. Cheers.